So I recently decided to read this manga that I haven't read before. I was hesitant to start this because Tatsuki Fujimoto has failed me in the past with Chainsaw Man, but man am I glad I decided to read Look Back. This manga was absolutely incredible. The story hit me with so many emotions as I was reading it, I honestly was really surprised. I didn't realize Fujimoto had it in him to write a genuinely serious and emotional story, but here I am talking about one. So let's get into talking about all the reasons why this manga hits so hard. But before that, if you find yourself liking this video by the end, maybe think about leaving a like and subscribing as well, it helps out a ton. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So the characters in Look Back are very interesting. This is a story of regret, and they make sure to let you know this. The entire story is just a remembrance of one's life and the things that they regret the most. We get to see that even changing certain parts of your life isn't going to change others, and that sometimes things happen for a reason. Look Back as a story, despite its short length, fucked me up. It was able to tell a very compelling story in a very short amount of words and pages. I really felt the characters, and it made me realize just how important life is. Early on in the story, you see the main character Ayumu, or Fuji, drawing manga. She is determined to get better at drawing and make it as a manga artist, but she wants to do it alongside the person she deems to be her rival and friend, Kyomoto. Throughout a large chunk of this manga, you just see page after page of her sitting at her desk drawing manga. It is the same panel with different clothes and sometimes her being a little older. This is awesome. It shows her determination to get better and prove that she has what it takes to be what she wants to be. She does briefly give up on this dream in the story after having friends make fun of her for drawing manga when she isn't even that good. But eventually, she gets back into it after meeting Kyomoto, who is an actual fan of hers and encourages her to draw more. This helps her overcome those stupid thoughts of being too old for a certain hobby. You are never too old to like certain things. If you like to draw, then so be it. I'm not going to stop you. If anything, I think that's cool as hell. I can't draw for shit, so I think it's cool to have a skill like that. But even with other hobbies, don't let anyone influence you to give up on what you love just because it makes you not normal in their eyes. Keep going and you will be happy. As you grow older, you and your friends start to realize that you have different interests. Or maybe your interests align, but you just want to go about them in different ways. Fuji and Kyomoto are a shining example of this. Kyomoto wanted to become more independent and work to improve herself before continuing her work with Fuji, and Fuji just wanted to work together with her friend on manga. Both ultimately had the same goal in working together, but one wanted to independently improve themselves because they lacked confidence, and the other wanted to continue working with her friend/rival, also because of the lack of confidence and in recognition of the talent of her friend. Growing independent is a part of life and growing up, and it is something that you have to learn to accept as you become an adult. Alright, let's cover the elephant in the room with this manga. After the two of them split off to do their own thing, something tragic happens to Kyomoto. She ends up dying at the hands of a psychopath who came into her school. This affects Fuji dearly, who at this point was already knee-deep in her career as a mangaka. She ends up really struggling to cope with her friend being lost, and has to go on hiatus to deal with the grief. Here, we see her reminiscing on her life and everything that had led up to this moment, when finally, we get the switch. We are now in a different timeline, but Fuji still has the knowledge of the attack and saves her friend, who at this point in this timeline are essentially strangers. But in the end, they still become friends. But that was all a dream that Fuji had where she thought that she could save her friend, but we see her use this to push her towards her dream. She realizes why she draws manga in the first place, which is to see people smile and be happy, and at the end, she draws manga again. Honestly, this actually messed me up so hard when I read it for the first and second time. Fujimoto is able to portray loss and grief in such a powerful way in such a short amount of pages that it is honestly unreal how powerful the message is. So I want to talk about the relationship between Fuji and Kyomoto. They really are the most unlikely of friends. Fuji was the popular girl in class. Everyone liked her and she had tons of friends. Kyomoto was super shy and was so scared they didn't even show up to class at all. So the fact that these two became lifelong friends just goes to show you how much their dream meant to them. They were polar opposites in a lot of ways, but that one passion that they both shared brought them together. It is honestly a pretty wholesome relationship up until they split. And I know that people are going to say that Fuji was just using Kyomoto's talent, and that was probably the case at first, but you don't get that devastated over the death of someone if you didn't truly care for them. They were true friends that helped each other out in their lowest times. Tatsuki Fujimoto surprised the ever-living shit out of me. I knew this manga had high praise, but so did Chainsaw Man, and I don't particularly love Chainsaw Man. But this manga was so good and affected me in a way I didn't expect from Fujimoto. His artwork also lent surprisingly well to this type of story. That is another thing that I was worried about going into this. Fujimoto's art is great for a story like Chainsaw Man, but I didn't know how it would fare in a more serious and grounded story, but it was amazing. Fujimoto has a genuine talent for making manga of all styles, and I would love for him to eventually make a full-length series similar to Look Back instead of like Chainsaw Man or Fire Punch. But maybe that's just me. But anyway, this one-shot manga was amazing as hell. And look out for my review of Goodbye Eri, as that is coming soon as well.